when a father chose death and a daughter chose life. It was a cold and terrifying night in October 1917 in the Atlantic Ocean. A passenger ship carrying immigrants from Italy to New York was suddenly caught in a violent storm. On board was a 28-year-old carpenter, Antonio Russo, traveling with his 5-year-old daughter Maria. 2 years earlier, Maria's mother had died during childbirth. Antonio was taking his daughter to America to save her from poverty, to give her a better future, and to begin a new life. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the storm intensified. Massive waves slammed against the deck. Water began flooding the lower sections where third-class passengers were staying. Screams, panic, chaos everywhere looked like the end of the world. Antonio lifted Maria into his arms and ran toward the stairs, but the water had already risen to his waist. The ship began to tilt. People trampled over one another in desperation to reach the upper decks. Antonio held Maria above the water, but the crowd was overwhelming, the water too violent, and time was running out. He realized they would never reach the lifeboats. The ship was sinking. Only minutes remained. Suddenly, Antonio noticed a broken cabin porthole shattered by the storm. The opening was large enough for only a child to pass through. Holding Maria tightly, he wiped away her tears and then pushed his tiny daughter through the broken porthole into the ice-cold ocean. Maria screamed. Antonio shouted, "Swim, Maria. Swim toward the light. Ships are coming. Swim in the distance." Rescue boats were scanning the dark water with their searchlights. Maria had a chance to survive. Antonio did not. He could not fit through the opening. He gave his daughter life and accepted death for himself. 7 minutes later, the ship sank into the ocean. Antonio Russo drowned, along with 117 passengers who never reached the lifeboats. His body was never found. 45 minutes later, a rescue boat pulled Maria from the water. She was suffering from severe hypothermia and was barely conscious, but she was alive. Wrapped in blankets, she was transferred to a hospital ship. Maria was alone, a 5-year-old orphan, a foreign country, an unfamiliar language, and a wound in her heart that would never fully heal. She remembered her father's last words, "Swim toward the light." Maria was placed in an orphanage in New York. For years, she believed her father might still be alive and would one day come to take her home. But he never came because he was sleeping in the depths of the Atlantic. Ocean Maria passed away in 2004 at the age of 92. She lived 87 years, remembering the night her father threw her into the sea so she could live. In 1995, at the age of 83, a journalist interviewed her. Through tears, Maria said, "I was 5 years old. The ship was sinking. My father threw me into the sea. I was terrified. I thought he was killing me. I didn't know he was saving me. I fell into the water, sank, then came back up and screamed. I looked toward the ship. I saw my father's face in the porthole. He was telling me, 'Swim, Maria. Swim toward the light.' I kept swimming. I didn't want to swim. I wanted to go back to my father. But I swam because he told me to. She continued, "For 25 years, I believed my father had abandoned me. Then a researcher checked the passenger records and told me that Antonio Russo went down with the ship. He didn't leave me. He saved me. He threw me toward life and embraced death himself." Crying, Maria said, "Today I have 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. 31 lives exist only because my father threw me through a porthole into the sea in 1917. He died so that I could live. Every night when I close my eyes, I see his face. Even today I hear his voice, 'Swim toward the light.' I have been swimming toward the light for 78 years. I hope I made him proud. I hope that when I die, I will meet him and say, 'Thank you, Papa. Thank you for giving me life. Ti amo, Papa. I have always loved you.'" This story is not just an accident. It is sacrifice. It is a father's love. It is the price of life. Sometimes, to save us, someone pushes us into the darkness so that we may reach the light.